Hello Exiles, this is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming and welcome to my day 1 update for my monk, my lightning and ice monk specifically. I'm about to do a boss here. I'll kind of show how this plays and then I'll explain the character. Alright, so this is actually the one that the monk fought in the trailer. Alright, gotta get the shock on her. Gotta keep shock up. Oop. Gotta not get hit by that. 86%, and she's frozen. Okay. Oop. Yep, there you go. Okay. So, that was the play style. Couldn't really do commentary because I had to concentrate because I'm not really used to the mechanics here, but I'll go back to town and I will explain the character. So I'm right up towards the end of Act 3. I've been doing pretty much full completion on everything, exploring all of the side areas, doing all the little mini quests. I think I have everything from all of the acts all grayed out. So really trying to make my first playthrough very completionist, very much a learning experience. One thing to note, I'll probably do like a tips video because I think a lot of people are having trouble with the early game. Real quick tip, if you see like a little plus on the skull here, that means they give you something. So the Crow Bell, for instance, gives you 2 weapon set passive skill points, which, funnily enough, are actually just skill points, but you have 2 different trees and you can set them differently in different places. But if you want to do just 1 tree, which is what I've been doing so far, they're just 2 passive skill points. And yeah, you get all sorts of stuff like that. Like in the beginning, of course, you get the cold resist from the witch. You get some more passive skill points over here. But yeah, I've really gone through, done everything, gotten all of this checked off. Character is currently level 44. And yeah, I'll go over kind of my skill tree, my gear, all that kind of stuff, my skill setup. So we'll start with the skill setup because I kind of went over my pre-planning a little bit. This is nothing. I'm literally just using this to hold extra skill points. Like when I get an extra point, I'll put Rage back in my main skill, which is Ice Strike. So we'll talk about Ice Strike first. Ice Strike's extremely powerful. It is great for clear. I don't really have to use anything else at all other than sometimes on rares I'll use like Frost Bomb, maybe Wave of Frost, and sometimes if I can't apply a shock with my Ice Strike, because I do a decent amount of lightning damage as well, as you can see here. If I can't apply my shock with Ice Strike, I actually have Falling Thunder to apply it. I have my cast on freeze, but I can't use it because I run out of mana real quick casting spells. I'm trying to fix my mana problems at the moment, but that's kind of a future goal. So main link setup for Ice Strikes is Martial Tempo. I think it feels really nice to have a good amount of attack speed. I have some on the tree as well, and I'm going to get quite a bit more shortly, pretty soon here. Because, yeah, out of my next probably 3 or 4 big nodes, 2 of them are going to be attack or action speed, or skill speed rather. So, got Martial Tempo, got Primal Armament, which is just weapon elemental damage. Got Close Combat, so I got all the more damage multipliers. This is my DPS skill. And my next link will be Rage, and then probably, I think I put it in my stash. Let's see here. Crescendo, which makes the final strike of supported skills perform twice. With the skill here, with Ice Strike, you do 2 kind of normal fast attacks, and then your third strike is a half speed, much higher attack damage. So normally it's 144% attack damage. The third strike is 321, so over double, but you lose half of your attack speed doing it. But the base attack speed is 140%, so it still feels overall very quick, especially with some attack speed invested. The other important things I have, I didn't even use this on the boss, I forgot, but I do have Freezing Mark with Persistence, which makes it stay on longer, and Ice Bite. I think I'm just kind of holding Ice Bite on here for now because I guess technically when they explode I could proc Ice Bite, but yeah, it's not really going to proc in most situations, especially when I'm actually using it. So I think this is more of a hold while I figure out where I actually want to put Ice Bite. Other important thing, Herald of Ice. Herald of Ice makes clear 1,000,000 times better. The moment you get this is completely game-changing. I have Cold Infusion, which it is attack damage, the explosion. As you can see, the explosion does 119% of attack damage. Funny thing about this, that means it can also activate ailments, including, freeze and shock. So you can actually freeze and shock with your Herald of Ice explosions, which is really cool. And then I have Vitality, which additionally reserves 20 Spirit, and I just get some regen. You can't really activate this until like Act 3 when you get more Spirit, unless you get some on gear. So you can just put regular supports on Herald of Ice until then. Alright, as for, I have Killing Palm to generate power charges if I do want to use it with Falling Thunder. Mostly I'm just using it as a culling strike at the moment. I even forget to use this most of the time. A lot of times the last bit of the fight goes quick enough where it's not really an issue. I do have Life Drain, so this is a means of helping sustain life. If I do get low, so if I'm out and about and I'm low on flasks and I just hit a couple enemies low because they're frozen, they're not a danger to me, and then I call them and I get the life drain effect. And then I have Profusion, which gives me a chance to grant an additional charge. This is not relevant most of the time. I'll probably figure out something better to do with this. But it's fine for now. Sometimes I do use Falling Thunder. I did use Falling Thunder in the beginning, almost exclusively. So for clear, in the beginning of the game, I had Frozen Locust combined with Frost Bomb, and then I would use Falling Thunder. So if there were really big packs, what I would do is I would put down a Frost Bomb, which at the time I had with, actually I still do. I have Fast Forward. I need to get rid of Fast Forward and Swift Affliction because this isn't doing enough to kill anything because I'm not scaling spell damage. So it doesn't do anywhere near enough damage. But I was using it for clear in the beginning. And what I would do is I'd throw Frost Bomb down and then I would group things up around it, and then I would Frozen Locust, and the Frost Bomb would explode the Ice Crystal from Frozen Locust, which would then explode. Cleared packs extremely effectively. And then I also used Falling Thunder. If I got things low, I would just get a power charge with Killing Palm. And then Falling Thunder, it does a ton of damage if you expend power charges, 25% more damage per power charge, and then 100% more if a power charge was consumed. So, it already has 281% attack damage here. You can double that if you use any power charges, and then I don't know if these are separate multipliers, but maybe almost triple it roughly, if you consume 3 power charges, so that's really nice. I was using Locust of Frost, then I switched when I was able to Wave of Frost. Wave of Frost gives a lot of freeze buildup. I currently have that with Magnified to give it bigger AoE. Glaciation, which gives it more freeze buildup, which it already has a more freeze buildup on it, so that plus what I have on my tree, I think this is basically like 5 times as much for the hit of freeze buildup, so it's pretty significant. And then deep freeze, which also gives 50%. Oh, okay. I don't know what happened there, but 50% freeze duration. So you get really long freezes. I try to proc freeze with Wave of Frost. A lot of times I end up just incidentally procking it with Ice Strike anyway. But even without the freeze duration, freezes are very, very long. So yeah. And before I had Ice Strike, I did just use Quarterstaff with Martial Prowess as kind of my, main killing like single small wimpy units without having to waste mana, because in the beginning flask charges are kind of tricky to keep up and you do have to mash your flasks a lot, although I did take some nodes to help with that pretty early on, so I don't think I had as much trouble as a lot of people do. So that is the setup, and I will eventually transition to cast on freeze. I'll have Ball Lightning instead of Arc, with Coursing Current and not Innervation, the one that gives increased, I have it on Falling Thunder, Conduction. I didn't mention this. Falling Thunder I currently do use to shock. I have Lightning Infusion, which just gives a bigger lightning hit, making it more likely to shock, and then Conduction, which gives 100% more chance to shock, and I have a little bit of chance to shock and shock magnitude on the tree as well. So until I get my cast when frozen set up, this will be my main means of proccing shocks. Sometimes though, I just do enough lightning damage with Ice Strike to shock, especially against anything that's not a boss really. Sometimes against bosses too. And I do shock for 30% because my shock magnitude is high enough to hit the max shock, so that's 30% more damage. Go over the we'll go over the skill tree real quick first. Okay, so here's how I leveled. Important stuff here, going through skill speed. You need, basically once you hit flow state here, everything feels much smoother and much better. So going through all of this, you get skill speed, which if you don't know, skill speed is attack speed, cast speed, and warcraft speed, and similar stats, whatever that might mean. So you get a bit of that here, you get some attack damage, you get a good amount of attack and cast speed from this node and some stats, then go up to flow state. Flow state's really powerful. Next, what I did, and this I think it was very helpful in the early game because of how rippy it was, is I actually pathed over here and I had some extra attributes, so I made a couple of these strength. So I had like 1 dex and 2 strength. Each strength gives 2 life, so each 5 strength gives 10 life. And then I got the life recoup up here and got infused flesh, which gives more flat max life. And this helped a little bit with sustain, helped save a little bit on potions. You do always want to be rolling your potions while you're doing that. But after that, I came out this way and I grabbed Essence of the Storm, which helped with my Falling Thunder to make sure I was shocking and giving me a little extra lightning damage. And then I went over this way and I grabbed Essence of the Mountain to help with like the freeze buildup and stuff. And then I came over here and grabbed Blinding Strike. And after that, a lot of this stuff I respect into. So I actually, and I didn't have conservative casting until recently, but I think I would have grabbed that, or I would be grabbing that now. So, but then I came over this way, I grabbed Mental Toughness. I did come down and grab Proficiency just because I didn't want to have to worry about the dex. mostly. I wanted to make sure that I had enough without having to path too far, and since this was relatively close, and I actually went as far as to grab enhanced reflexes, but I thought that was a little overkill uh, overall, so yeah, not a big deal. But I did go up and get Storm Swell pretty quick and Unbound Forces as well. And then kind of where I went from here is I spec'd out of all of the infused flesh. I spec'd out of these points over here, and I use that to go up to Echoing Frost, which gives 30% elemental damage if you chilled an enemy recently, which is always. And Echoing Thunder, 30% elemental damage if you shocked an enemy recently, which is usually and hopefully in the future always. Then I went and got Conservative Casting. Then I finished out, or I grabbed Storm Surge, Mental Toughness, and now I'm currently going down to Harness the Elements. This will also give me more freeze buildup going through here. And I may go through the shock ones as well, depending on what's down here. But actually, I think my immediate plan after Harness the Elements is to get this Jewel Socket, which I don't have a good Jewel. Get Coming Calamity, because this is a ton of damage. Damage while affected by Herald. And then 50% cold damage while affected by Herald of Ice is huge. I could go double Herald as well and run Herald of Thunder. That would be even better, because it would give me lightning bolts when I kill shocked enemies. And I'd get the extra lightning damage, which would make shocking easily. And around this area, there's a ton of premium nodes. So there's all these staff nodes, Whirling Assault for a bunch of attack speed and some attack speed leading up to it. I could even get increased defenses while wielding a staff, and freeze and stun buildup with one with the river. And then you have all the crit stuff around here too. So like you have Heart Stopping, Stuck Through, Heartbreaking. I didn't even grab the crit Moment of Truth yet, but this will leave me in a really good spot to grab that. But I think once I grab at least Whirling Assault after grabbing Harness the Elements, I may end up going all the way down here to get Acceleration. And I think there's some other stuff that might be interesting down here, like Maiming Strike seems pretty efficient. There's elemental attacks and physical damage from hits taken as a random element. When I get all of that stuff figured out, and plus this is close to another Jewel Socket. Then there's a bunch of nice ailment threshold stuff down here too, which is kind of cool. So I might end up grabbing that so I don't have to worry about freeze. And then my charm can be like anti-poison, anti-stun. When I get 3 charms, I can really focus on that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's just a lot of good stuff down here. Exploit is also really nice. So I think coming down this way. And as far as defensively, eventually I am going to transition into energy shield and evasion hybrid. So I'll be getting stuff like Mindful Awareness, Subterfuge Mask, that kind of thing. There's a bunch of nodes around about this area that give good like evasion, energy shield hybrid, but I don't think I have to be in a position to be able to get good enough gear to do that. And in the early game, just like POE 1, the best item bases, in my opinion, are going to be the armor and evasion hybrid, because it reduces the frequency in which you're hit, as well as reduces the damage you take from hits at the same time. And doing both is really nice, especially when you're being swarmed. It means most of the time, especially with the added safety of freeze, I don't have any issues with being surrounded or anything like that. So very helpful. So yeah, lastly, I will go over the gear. This is a quarterstaff. I've had it for quite a while now. As you can see, it's item level 26, and I'm currently level 44, so I got this, I think, at the end of Act 2. In fact, I think I got it from the boss of Act 2, rolled as is. Oh no, I think I did use 2 exalts on it. I think it had everything. Yeah, I think I did use 2 exalts on this. But yeah, currently It's pretty good. I'm looking mostly for physical damage because most of my stuff just converts anyway. But a little extra lightning damage is nice too because then I get extra lightning damage on Ice Strike. So I'd say actually this is the perfect damage ratio. I want percent physical damage, and lightning damage. Preferably, I would also get attack speed. And then I know right now the plus level to all melee skills can roll up to +4 on current bases, so I would like that as well. As far as the runes I'm using, these are not good runes. I shouldn't have put them on there. The 6 to 10 cold damage is pretty minuscule at this point, and Leech's physical is life. My skills do like 10% or 20% of their damage is physical, so I'm getting like almost no Leech from this. Very, very little, like maybe 1 or 2 mana per second when I'm attacking full time, and considering I have 29.5, that's just a drop in the bucket. What I wish I had put on, but I didn't really have at the time, was Iron Runes. Unfortunately, I don't believe you can replace them. There's no way to take them out, but I do need to roll a new staff at some point anyway. These gloves are also very old, item level 13. They just had a bunch of damage, and then life, rarity, some resist. I truly have been trying to get better gloves than this and haven't been able to. Body armor, I got a cloaked mail and rolled it through a regal, through an exalt. I'm going to replace this eventually too, although this one's one of my more recent items. I am tempted to double exalt it, see if I can hit lightning resistance, because right now my lightning resistance is quite low. I did die to an essence, lightning essence earlier, and in fact, let's take a look at my deaths. 32 deaths, so quite a few deaths already. It is a tougher game and I'm not used to it. It took me a while, especially. I think I died like 4 times to the first act boss before I kind of realized the rhythm of it, and also realized that I should be stacking a lot of cold resist, which I did. So I got like some extra armor and cold resist, and that was helpful. So yeah, runes are very important. I'll probably, when I do a beginner's tip video, talk about that, but runes are probably like the most important thing in the early game, honestly. Yeah, anyway, helmet. I got a little bit of lightning resist, got the runed fire resist, got life, got strength, which also gives life. So that gives an extra 34 life. So I'm sitting at 100 life on this helmet, pretty good. Decent armor and evasion. Amulet is +1 all melee skill levels, +10 strength, and yeah, this is bad. Amulets are really hard to get. I've barely gotten any amulets. I got this at level 8 and haven't replaced it yet. I'll probably try to save up some gold and gamble amulets, but I truly have been having a hard time finding amulets. Rings kind of lackluster, this fire resist ring, but I needed fire resist quite a bit at the time, so that's what I got. Other rings, okay. Lightning damage, life, strength, and cold resist. It's not bad. You know, it's fine. Belt, I got this like as soon as I entered Act 2, I think. Yeah, item level 25, or pretty early on in Act 2. And I'm just keeping it because I need the armor. The armor is very helpful. 23% physical damage reduction, and 18% estimated evasion chance. Not that great. It was much higher. It was like 34, so I guess a couple of monster levels really scaled down. I guess you got to keep on top of your evasion scaling, because I think maybe just a couple of zones ago it was at like 34, and it might have been because I fought the boss who maybe has higher accuracy, or it might be because I'm in town. I'm not really sure. But yeah, regardless, just lightning resist and flash charges gained. And increased flask life recovery rate is actually very relevant too. Boots 15 move speed, some stun threshold, socketed fire resist. These are really bad. I've been trying to replace these for a while too. Yeah, I should probably try to focus on getting upgrades. I have, some crafting materials and stuff, although I've been selling a lot of my rares because I've been doing some gambling. So yeah, I'll just put this somewhere too. I'm trying to craft a chaos resist ring, but because there's a lot of chaos damage in Act 3, but I'm towards the end of it anyway now. But I'll need some more eventually, regardless. So yeah, I have a lot of. I should start getting some regal shards. So I don't have any. Okay, I have rare here, but yeah, we'll go ahead and disenchant this. Get a regal shard out of it. Then I'll just. Oh, I keep forgetting that I can't shift click my scrolls because they are. Because I set my dodge roll to shift. Oops. Okay, whatever. Alright. But yeah. Oh, charm. Antidote charm currently. I've been holding all the charms. You want a cold resist charm at the end of Act 1 for that boss. I used a stun immune charm, this one, for quite a while, just because being stunned is annoying. I have high enough armor and high enough life now that I am not really getting stunned as much, so I got rid of that. I was getting poisoned quite a bit in Act 3, so I put the antidote charm on, really helpful. I think a lot of learning to level efficiently is going to be learning which charms to have on when. But unfortunately, I only have one charm slot on my current belt. I'd like to be able to have more, but yeah, that's kind of my thought process on that. Oh yeah, Ascendancy. First Ascendancy node I took is I Am the Thunder. I actually did initially take Lead Me Through Grace, but then I spent like 7,000 gold respecking out of it because I was literally getting like 3 or 5 spirit from it. I'm like, oh, this isn't going to be even worth it till endgame. I really did want to get and protect me from harm so I could just full stack evasion and get all the like nice evasion stuff down here, like by enhanced reflexes and stuff, plus you know what other evasion was. But unfortunately, that doesn't seem great. I think next I might try Unbound Avatar. I don't really like the idea of having another button to push. I'm already pressing a lot of buttons in boss fights, but if it does enough damage, I'm going to do it anyway. Let's see. Okay, 40% more damage. You inflict. Gain Unbound Fury when you inflict an elemental ailment with a hit on an enemy, no more than once every 0.2 seconds, maximum 100. 40% more elemental damage while unbound, 40% more elemental ailment buildup while unbound, 80% chance to inflict elemental ailments. Okay, never mind, I'm getting this. Wow. Huh. Yeah, that's really good. So yeah, I'm getting Unbound Avatar next. That's for sure. Fits with my build probably better than anything else, honestly. Alright, that's the character, that's the update. It was a long one. Hope you're enjoying. This has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and I'll see you next time. Bye.